I'm wearing these sunglasses so you can't see my tears.
Cheers.
My red eyes and tears.
I'm having a Rhino beer, local beer. They don't say if it's a lager or anything, but it's quite nice and it's very well priced.
Supporting Gilroy's.
So I'm happy with it.
Gilroy's Real Ales.
Yeah, the morning after is never a nice thing. After a game like that, where I think in the week the press sort of built it up too much.
Yeah, I thought we were world champions and that
Yeah.
we can beat anyone. And
Talking about, referring back to 2009 when we beat them 3 times in a row, and
Yeah.
referring about to actually the biggest winning margin against the All Blacks, because it's at Ellis Park, which is our, what does the
Spiritual
statistician
home.
say, is that our best local venue?
there are some venues where we haven't lost to the All Blacks.
But we only played like
Where we played like PE, we've never
like
lost.
the Royal Bafokeng Sports
Yeah,
Palace in
that sort of thing.
Rustenburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's our best ground,
Mm.
you would say. It's where we won the World Cup.
But yeah, I think the All Blacks figured us out, isn't it?
Yeah, the All Blacks, they came out. They definitely came out with a good plan, and they did their homework. And I'm happy for Foster in that he was under a lot of pressure, and he sort of shown that they still got it. They can figure teams out,
Yeah,
and they can play to a plan. They've definitely played to a plan.
yeah.
What I have to say is that they're going to have to cut out the silly mistakes.
Mm.
Because even though it was much better, they still passed the ball out over the touchline, and there were still a few knock-ons and stuff. But that you can sort that out as long as you have that plan and you stick to it. So much better protection at ruck time. We were at the game. We saw the game live. I think we're going to add a video of a plane flying over and that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
And we could clearly see that there were very few opportunities, especially in the first half, to actually get over the ball and fetch.
Yeah.
And because they were just so much more precise at ruck. They had much better line speed on defence. There was once that Pollard couldn't get the pass away. He was trapped with the ball in hand. And they worked out a very specific plan to disrupt them all. And I saw it right in front of me every time it happened. I think it was Ethan de Groot, who is the Lucid prop, or Tyrell Lomax, I'm not exactly sure which one, but one of them sort of took an anchoring position at a slight angle, which is just legal, and he just anchored himself there every time as soon as the ball went to ground, and we just lost momentum. We just couldn't get the ascendancy in the maul.
If it was legal, then it's fine.
It's legal, that's fine. It's a plan. It's a plan that worked. And we're going to get to the Springboks a bit later, but that's some of the criticism that I have of the Springboks. So that worked very well. They had a very definite plan from the moment they spoke about it in the press, about to nullify the high ball.
Yeah.
Firstly, we said before the game, we think the Springboks are going to be overly cautious under the high ball, and it was exactly the case. Mapimpi, there were a lot of times that he didn't go up,
Yeah.
because he was scared to get the red card and so on.
We'll
and
get
so
to the
forth.
Springboks, but it's just funny that we then still persisted with the up and unders.
Yes,
If you're not going to go for it all out, then why do that? Anyway.
and the blocking, like everyone does, but it's got to be precise, it's got to be clever, it's got to be done in such a way that it doesn't look like obstruction, where you sort of turn your back and you're trying to watch the high ball and stuff.
Havili on Mapimpi though, did you see? That was blatantly...
There were a couple of times where I thought that was quite lucky, but
Yeah.
if you do it smartly,
It wasn't even that smart. They put it on the big screen
yeah,
to try and sway the ref.
this
obviously.
referee,
Yeah. Anyway,
but
but they did well. I
they
mean,
do it better
if they
than
get
you
away
do.
with it, then
Yeah,
you know, I mean, people talk about Richie McCaw as being a cheat and whatever, but
yeah.
is he a cheat? I mean, then they must blow him for
No,
it.
it's tactics.
Yeah.
And then I thought there was a very good mix between attacking the fringes around the ruck, which was lacking. Is that I thought they go too wide quickly. They went too wide quickly,
Especially there in the first half,
Yeah,
and they lost the ball a few times.
yes,
of that. Yeah.
yes. And then it sort of there was a very good mix of trying to get over the advantage line very quickly on the fringes of the ruck, and it worked, and it created difficulty in the defence, because then you sort of don't know which channel you've got to defend on, because normally you just think you've got to defend laterally across the field towards the wing with the All Blacks, even though everybody takes up crash balls, but they did it more regularly and they got over the advantage line more regularly, and their scrum was better. They stole our very first line-out ball. So just generally, I mean, you could almost see it in the warm-up that there was a lot more intensity and a more directness in the All Blacks approach in general. Yeah, so kudos to them, well done to them. But the first half an hour wasn't good rugby.
It was terrible. It was lots of handling errors and lineouts lost.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it came back to the thing that the All Blacks do better than the Springboks, is that when they did have opportunities, they took them.
Yeah.
And we had
many opportunities.
We had a intercept by Pieter-Steph, which then, I mean, what do you think? What should have been? What other options were there?
Well, not in that. I mean, we were at the game, so we could see no one had. There was no wing chasing up to help him or anything. So
you can go infield and you can slow down almost completely with his bulk. If you slow down and you sort of try and keep the guy at bay for just a little bit, maybe you could have gotten a ball away. And he did get a very good ball away, but then there was a bit of impatience. And that comes down to the understanding of the new law. You can't just nilly-willy go over the try line.
I think it's willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly, what did I say?
Nilly-willy.
Okay, well, I created my own version. You can't just go over the try line and then it's fine because you'll get the 5 meter scrum. So you've got to make sure that you are ready to recycle the ball in case you don't make it. Because it's devastating to be that close and you
get nothing.
And you get nothing because it's a goal line kick out.
Yeah. Damian Willems's sort of overlap that he had as well. I mean, that he decided to kick instead of passing.
Yes, it was right in front of me. It was right under my nose. He did absolutely brilliantly to create the overlap, beat the first guy, which created a 3-on-2, and then he kicked.
Yeah,
which is something that will come with time. He's such a brilliant rugby player, and he creates so much. He is literally the new Willie Leroux, but that last thing that Willie still has, he was lacking. Yeah. And it was not that only that one moment. There was a pass that he could have gotten away to Pieter-Steph in the second half that he just didn't get it away in time, and it hit a New Zealand hand. And you could see the disappointment because it was 2-on-1. It was Pieter-Steph and Mapimpi, and it just didn't get away. But yet again, that's line speed. They got to him quickly enough before he could get the ball away. So it's still the urgency by the All Blacks and everything worked very well. Yeah, and then Kriel was concussed.
Concussing himself on Caleb Clark.
Yeah, he wanted to redeem himself. You could almost see it. He went
Caleb
into
Clark
that.
Concuss him.
Yes, he went into that. Yeah, Caleb Clark is making a habit of killing our players.
Concussing people. Yeah, that guy's odd.
Yes, he's big and hard.
Yeah.
Now he had a great game. I mean, you've got to give it to him. And that was, he wanted to redeem himself for missing an earlier tackle, and he went into it head on. And it's always, it looks funny at the moment, but when a guy tries to get up and he falls over, it's very, very bad. A little bit disturbing to see. And then selection things. Dwayne was unfit.
Yeah. What was the point in having him there for 30 odd minutes?
So the point, and we spoke about it earlier, is that you would rather have Marx finishing the game than Dweba, who's less experienced. You want Marx to be that guy who makes the crucial steal for you to get a penalty to win the game in the dying seconds. So you want him on the field at the end of the game. And then because of that, because Dweba started, you don't have a fetcher. So then in order to have a fetcher, you start with Dwayne. So it was always going to be the plan, according to me, that when Dweba comes off, Marx comes on, Dwayne comes off, and Visa comes on, so that you still have that fetcher on the field.
But then the 6-2 as well was a liability this week.
Yeah.
With Jesse getting injured.
Yes, definitely.
You know.
Yeah. What did that do to our backline then?
I don't know if we must persist with it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's a tactic that you do, and you just pray for no injuries in the back line.
Yeah. But
Because as soon as there is unless it's a like for like injury, which is only basically scrum half and fullback.
but it's backfired in 3 games now this
Yeah.
season. How many games have we even had this season? 5. So
Yeah.
60% of all games, it's
Yeah.
backfired.
Completely disrupts, especially your defensive system in your back line.
Yeah.
Because now your specialist inside centre is playing outside centre. Your guy who's proven that his best position is fullback for the Springboks is playing inside centre, and your best player, your best backline player, by a long way, possibly the best outside centre in the world, Lukhanyo is playing on the wing. And I immediately saw it as soon as Kriel went off. There was a ruck, and stormed off his wing to go compete at the ruck, and there was no one on the wing because it's instinctive. He is also a fetcher,
Yeah.
and it creates space. It creates space in other players. Dalenda looked as if he didn't know what to do because he also wants to carry on going into the inside channel next to Pollard, and it created space on the outside. It created huge space on the outside. You can see that live. As soon as you went over Dalenda's head, there was no one because basically the outside centre channel was left vacant.
You said yes when I said to you, why didn't Willie play on the wing? You said yes, but we want Willie's attack, right?
Yes.
But now we have Pollard, Dalenda, we have Pollard and Willemse
Yeah.
in the team anyway.
Yes.
So I mean, you've got enough like attacking options, like first receiver options.
Yeah, Willie gets picked as a guy who on the attack is supposed to get the creativity going. He's supposed to make the crucial pass, and on defence, your fullback covers the backfield, but on attack, a fullback can choose to enter the line wherever he wants to, and a wing can't. A wing has to stay in his channel. So the fullback is the guy who creates the extra man in your back line when it comes to. He can either choose to join up on the outside of the wing. He can come in between the centres. He can come in first receiver. A wing can't do that. So that's where on the attack, that's how Willie is used. He's used as a creative power in the back line, and on the wing he won't have that freedom to do that. So it puts us in an extremely difficult position, especially when the wing is injured. And now it's the 3rd game where there was an injury to the wing.
Yeah.
So it just made it extremely difficult. And but when Visser came on, I mean, the guy is great at carrying. I mean, he always gets over the advantage line, virtually always.
He's actually, we said it like a month ago. We said, when is Visser going to have his like breakthrough game? And I feel like it wasn't one game. It was like last weekend and yesterday. I think he's turning into the product that we want.
The guys next to me were just screaming, "Give it to Visser, give it to Visser," all the time because he gets you over the advantage line. He runs at an angle. He runs at a little bit of an angle and then sort of straightens, and he just finds that little bit of space for him to get over the line. But it's almost imperative that he will have to add fetching to his game.
And he's short. He's not that tall. He doesn't
Not
look
that tall.
Yeah.
He's got the correct build.
Yeah, he could be a number 6 even.
We have seen it in the past that players have turned themselves into fetchers. With Marcel Coetzee, for instance, is a good example where he didn't start off his career as a fetcher. He became a fetcher.
Yeah.
So he will have to work at that because of our mix in the back 3, where Siya Kolisi isn't a fetcher. We need an 8th man that can fetch. It makes it a little bit difficult. Pieter-Steph du Toit was a lock. He's a very tall guy. It takes a while for him to get down there and compete for the ball. His centre of gravity is a little bit too high. But then, after they scored 2 tries, we thought game over. We thought this is it. This is not our day. And then we got ourselves back into the game with a moment of individual brilliance from where he had Caleb Clark to beat. And it's a subtle thing which you cannot coach. Is he just went in a little bit and just showed him the outside, and he beat him man for man. It was almost like British and Irish Lions, Jacques Fourie, which is probably, and in that era, he was probably the best inside centre in the world.
Outside centre, yeah.
Outside centre, and it was a similar type of try. He just actually beat him better on the outside.
He's just in crazy form, and he hasn't shown us like flash yet, you know, and I mean that was flash.
No,
that was amazing.
Yes, and but we'll get to the other moment in the game. But in the second half, the All Blacks managed to maintain that high level of intensity, and
they just outlasted us, isn't it? Well, they were kept in the game with like a controversial penalty that Luke Pierce gave against Jasper Wiese.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, until that stage, they'd only scored 3 points in the whole half.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a letter of the law thing. In the letter of the law, you can't play someone after the whistle. But now my question is, if after the whistle, if two guys grab each other by the collar and they pull and tug a bit, and the one guy was at fault because he started it, it happens so often. That
what is the difference between guys tugging at each other and a tackle?
Yeah, it was a legal tackle. It was slightly after the whistle, so maybe he was already in the tackle position. Maybe he was just overexcited. Whatever. The penalty was for South Africa. It was not like New Zealand had advantage and he stopped the advantage of anything. No. It was actually nothing.
That was a momentum killer for us.
Yeah. It was actually nothing. It was that made it. What did that make the score? I think
it was 18-13. Yeah, when we were really driving to come back.
Yes. So you can't fault the ref. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. But if it was left, and if he said to him, "Listen, let's leave this out of the game," no one would have said, "Oh no," but like, yes, it was a tip tackle.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been controversial to leave it.
Controversial at all, because it happens so often. Yeah. I mean, Maro Itoje in the Lions had his neck on a guy, his leg on a guy's neck after the whistle, and it wasn't a penalty. Yeah. To give you an example, so what's worse, a legal tackle slightly after the whistle, or a guy having his knee on a guy's neck after the whistle?
Yeah. Well, that wasn't even after the whistle. That was during the game.
Yeah,
it wasn't even penalised.
Yeah.
But
there's argy-bargy all the time. And it's rugby, man. Guys pushing and shoving and this and that and a little bit of this, or a guy.
Yeah, why doesn't he warn him? Yeah. Say, if I see that again, you're going to the bin.
Or a guy lifting a guy's leg or whatever after the ball. Yeah. It happens all the time.
And let's not.
Okay, whatever. I mean, it's not. Yeah. We're not Luke Pierce. We had a good game. It's just a 50-50 thing that didn't go our way. Yeah. Then there was a rip. Oxenchair carried the ball, and he ripped the ball out.
I was sitting with someone, and I said to them, like, often a rip is not adjudged to be like a knock on.
Yeah. So the guy's carrying the ball, and it's down to small things. So did Whitelock take the ball from him and get the control, and then rip it out? Or did he? It's how do you decide if the carrying player lost the ball or if it was ripped backwards by the other player?
Yeah.
So it's 50-50.
When it happened, then I didn't.
No, when it happened, I was also like, it can go either way.
Yeah, I didn't.
But I think often in those things go to the home team.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and it led to a try. Scored a try after that. Yeah. So if that was a try, yet again, big moment in the game, could have been different. But it's a 50-50 call. It didn't go our way.
Yeah.
You can't say, wow, that's a howler. How could you do that?
But the Jaden Hendrickse one, was that a howler? The obstruction? The
obstruction was obviously, he punished the crime. It gave him a yellow card. But
No, I'm talking about the try that it led to a try. Hendrickse.
The obstruction. Yeah. Same again. There's a gap and there's a player in the way, but the question is it clear and obvious enough to disallow a try?
Yeah, and didn't they get 3? They got 3 points from that.
Yes, they did. They kicked for goal from exactly. It was a try disallowed for which they got 3 points.
So, like in law, right? Yeah. You can appeal. You appeal a thing where a different judge could come to a different conclusion. Yes. Now, I think that those two decisions, a different referee would have come to a different conclusion.
It's a 6-point decision.
It's just like
so. We've, after much debate among ourselves on our WhatsApp group and stuff, we can't decide who's at fault there. So it's the same again. It's 50-50. Yeah. I believe that Whitelock he wasn't dipping his shoulders. There was
He wasn't doing
absolutely
anything.
no way.
He was just jogging there.
He was watching him go past because
Yeah.
he knew there's absolutely no way I'm going to tackle this guy.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no chance.
And I was sitting perfectly like at an angle. I
Yeah.
could see how big the gap was that went through.
Yes.
It was huge.
Yeah. So from where he was, it didn't even cross his mind to try and make the
No.
tackle. So is that enough to disallow a try? In my mind, no.
No.
Was Luke Pearce absolutely in the wrong? Was it a complete howler? No. There's a player in the way, but I'm confident that there was absolutely no way that Whitelock would have made a tackle.
Yeah. No ways.
So, yet again, difficult moment in the match. Jaden Hendricks was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but the try would have been scored in any case.
Yeah.
And you say that led to 3 points for them.
Yeah.
It's a big moment in the
It
game.
was a penalty to them, and then
Yeah, and you lose confidence gradually with when these things happen. Things in our own hands, having 3 mauls, not kicking for goal, going for the line out 3 times. You've got 3 mauls and you don't get a try from that.
Yeah.
You lose great confidence, and great for the All Blacks because they stopped all 3 of those mauls
Yeah.
and they got out.
Yeah. 2 of them illegally, and then the third one they've stopped it.
Mohanga's kicking out of hand.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
forget about. I mean, we said it. We said that Mohanga's
Yeah.
better than Bowden
Yeah.
as a fly off.
Every time he clears the ball, it's 40 meters.
Yeah.
And we have to start again.
He's
It's
like
not
more of a
a
typical New Zealand fly off, actually. If you think about Carter, if you think
Yes.
about Mertens.
Yeah. No, he made a huge difference. He made me extremely negative
Yeah.
every time there was a kick,
Yeah.
a clearing
He's
kick.
just better.
And even at the kickoffs, did you agree with a deep kickoff ploy and just
Why
getting
were we
it to
doing that? Yeah.
just getting it to Mohanga and he kicks it out a mile?
Yeah, I don't know why we were doing that.
You know,
We
If
wanted
you-
the ball back, obviously.
If you kick the ball fairly short, the 8th man has no option. He has to carry.
Yeah.
But if you can just pass it to Mohanga and he kicks it out on the halfway line, it breaks your confidence. It breaks your momentum. Willemse did then get a great pass away to Mapimpi for a try, and I thought, here we go, game on.
Yeah.
This is where the match is going to change.
It's going to turn it off.
And then 1 or 2 things, penalty, and it was 23-21. And funny story, we were sitting very far apart in the stadium. Like we couldn't sit together for whatever reason. And I left 10 minutes early on 23-21 after Bowden Barrett blocked Hendricks, which I thought could also have been a try
Yeah.
if that didn't happen, which is another moment where the game could have changed. And I had to run all the way around the stadium, and I thought, yes, no, now it's against 14 guys. We're going to get another penalty. It's probably going to be 26-21. We lost the game in 10 minutes from a clean break from Rico Ioane, and then another try right at the end, because then we were obviously completely deflated, negative.
Well, I think they did because we were in their 22 when Rico Ioane made that break.
Yes, we were
So
on the attack.
they had the mental fortitude.
Yes,
to
and the
just carry on.
belief.
Yeah.
And New Zealand can always score. The All Blacks are the All Blacks. The All Blacks score from anywhere. They create stuff out of nothing. How many times have we thought that we've won a game and we lost because they never give up belief? We play with high intensity, 100%. They play with skill,
Yeah.
and they can score from anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And then they just built through the phases. But it does not help if you're on the attack, on the opponent's 10-meter line with 4 minutes to go and Herschel Jantjies kicks an up and
Kicks
under.
it up and under.
You're conceding the game. At 28-23, how are you going to...
We could have still won from there. What
how are
is he
you going to
doing?
win the game with an up and under?
Yeah.
With the 50-50 thing where we haven't been good under the high ball for most of the game. And you kick it. I saw that on the TV in the stadium where I thought, okay, we've got a great chance of winning the game here. And he just kicks the ball away with 3.5 minutes to go. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
No more kicking up and unders in the 40-meter area of the opponents.
Yeah.
It's
But that's
pointless.
a new thing that we did now.
Yeah.
We saw it last week.
Kicking
in our
on the
spread as well.
attack. I mean,
In their half, I mean.
how many times have we caught the ball there and scored a try?
But how many times have we given away a red card? Probably 20%
More
of the
than
time.
what we've scored a
Like
try.
we've done it like 5 times and then we got a red card.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so please do away with kicking up and unders on the attack, especially when there's only 3 minutes left and you're 5 points behind, because you are not going to win the game like that.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So going forward, we're playing Australia now, and obviously we've completely run out of wings.
Yes, we've run out of wings, and Australia looks like they've run out of players because I mean they got smashed by Argentina yesterday. So well done Argentina.
Well done
Sheesh.
Argentina. They played a great game.
Yeah.
That was an attractive game to watch. Did you watch the whole game?
Mm-mm.
Yes, what a good game. It was try, disallowed tries, great running rugby, a very open game. Argentina played extremely well, but skillfully. Yeah, lots of line breaks, clever kicks.
But maybe it's sort of a commentary on the fact that any team can win on any day, and maybe let's be like John Kerwin and be like, I'm actually glad the Springboks lost.
Well, Jono said maybe it's good because, I mean, we just showed up for the first half an hour. There was no intensity, there was no nothing. Nothing happened in the first half. Felt sorry for Joseph Dweba. Do not agree with the selection. I think Johan Grobelaar is a better player from the Bulls. And we've got to make a decision with Fassi. Fassi's been in the mix for now. For how long?
Why did we not use Fassi?
Yeah.
I feel like
a specialist. Well, he's actually a specialist fullback, but I'm sure he would have been.
But I mean, he's
with
played
his
wing
skill
for us.
set, he would have been able to shift to the right wing.
And is Jesse Creel someone we're looking at the future for? Should we not blood Fassi?
Fassi, I believe. Canan Moody is going to be an amazing Springbok. If he can manage to stay injury free, I think he's going to play a lot of games for the Springboks. He's massive on defence, unbelievable under the high ball, great with the offloads and everything. But Fassi, I believe, deserves a chance. Canan Moody is 19 years old. This is a big stage.
But I mean, they didn't even play Canan Moody, so what?
No. But I mean, I'm talking about if everyone's out now, who do you pick as a starting wing?
Bring back Fassi.
I say Fassi.
Yeah.
Against Australia.
No. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, I need a braai now.
Okay. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.